Hey guys, today I'm going to be showing you how to install a new thermostat kit on a 2008 GMC 2500 or Chevy 2500 with the LMM Duramax. You're just going to need a few basic tools and a flashlight probably. That's basically it, so here we go. So first thing you're going to want to do is disconnect both batteries. It's just a 10mm nut holding those on. So get those disconnected first because we're going to be disconnecting some wire harnesses. So the first step is to get this resonator box off. This is a Torque 27 and you're going to need that for that one bolt. I already broke it loose. And then you're going to just use a screwdriver or I believe 8mm for the hose clamp on the other end of that. We can go ahead and unplug these wire harnesses right here. Just hold back on the green tab. It should just break loose like that. Just do the same for the bottom one. Like that. Next you're going to want to get the oil fill tube off. There's a bracket. I believe all the bolts on this are 12mm. You have one there, 3 on top. After you get that bracket off, you're going to have a little clip holding this harness to the bracket. You can go ahead and get a flathead screwdriver in there and just pry up on that push pin. So it should look like that. I'm going to go ahead and take out this small sensor down here just to get that out of the way so I don't break it on accident. Should just be a small little flathead screwdriver on that back side to release it. So we got that unplugged, so we can go ahead and pull this bracket out of the way now. So now we have to get this bolt out here, and there should be one down there, possibly a third one, but we'll see. Alright, in order to get all this out of the way, there is a nut back here that we're going to have to get off to get this whole bracket off. You can kind of see it right there. It's right behind the upper radiator hose. You also have another 12mm bolt right behind this gray connector down there. It's another bolt holding the bracket on. There is another bolt behind here that I missed. It's kind of tucked underneath this bracket right here that holds on the harnesses. Looks like a 12mm. I don't know if you can see it on camera, but I'm just going to sneak a box end wrench back there to get it out from this side. So I'm just going to remove this little wire harness clip right here just to give me some room to work with. And then I'm going to take my box wrench, just kind of sneak it down under here to get on the bolt and break it loose that way. So once you get that bracket loose, you'll then be able to get to the last bolt to the upper radiator hose. It's underneath this connector right here. So if I could show you, you'll be able to move this whole thing out of the way. Your last bolt is right there to get that upper radiator hose off. That runs all the way up to the thermostat housing, so you need that off. So next we're going to take out that 12 to the left, these two 12mm on this side, and I believe it is 3 total, but I will make sure in a second here. These are probably going to be a little bit tighter than the rest of the bolts, obviously. I just have a drip pan underneath the truck in case some coolant comes out. So this one I just broke loose, I believe is actually a weep hole or a bleeder hole. I have some coolant coming out of this one already, so I'm going to try to do this slowly and carefully because the truck's still pretty warm and I don't want any coolant to shoot in my face. So Alright, so that stopped bleeding off. I have that bolt, it has a small gasket on it, so make sure you don't lose that gasket, and we're going to pop this cover off right now. So after getting all those bolts loose, and the housing bolts loose, this whole thing will be able to wiggle around. Kind of show you this whole thing. You can see there's still coolant and they're pouring out, so just be considerate when you're draining coolant out of your truck. Make sure you top off as soon as you're done with this whole thing, but this should be enough room to get the new thermostats in. So I got the first one out, kind of got in there with needle nose to break the O-ring seal, and then I can kind of get my fingers in there to lift it out, and then I use the pliers to drag out the old thermostat, kind of wedging it between the belt there. I have the one in the back I still need to get out, but I'm just trying to pop this up enough to get access to it without having to remove more stuff. So you're going to want to pay attention. So the shorter one goes in the rear towards the firewall. The longer thermostat goes towards the front, towards the grill. So just make sure you put them in the right order and make sure the O-rings are on there nice and tight. So when you're installing these, just make sure this O-ring can come up a little bit, but make sure that's just seated in the groove all the way around before you just drop it in. So we got both of them in. It's kind of a pain in the ass, but I got it. You just gotta wiggle them in just right and not mess up the seals as you're doing it. And then this should just press straight down and bolt right back up and install everything in a reverse order that you took it apart in. So after getting everything back together, obviously low coolant light comes on. Just gotta top it off with coolant. You don't lose a whole lot. I wouldn't even say a gallon. So everything seems to be good. Just rinsed everything off with the garden hose and just checking for leaks.